looking at each his own, the unusual term, can that be subjective? Or are there, it depends on the ticker and of what's usual for that ticker and what's unusual for that ticker? Could you tell us about that and what you look for?
Great question. Great question. And I think we'll start with square one. I think people assume that if it's coming across an option scanner, that just by that in and of itself nature that it's on there, that it's unusual, and that couldn't be far from the truth. Going back to how heavily names are traded, that's especially in our most liquid names, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft. I mean, you will literally see $500,000 position come in the morning and close by lunch if they've gotten that move. Like, it's just it's
Wow,
being
that's
traded. Their
fast.
options being traded. They're not positions. They're trades, and they're being utilized as trades. And so you have to be very specific, and that is going to vary in so many different ways on how you evaluate an individual ticker. So there's going to be something like Microsoft, Tesla, like there has to be size. There has to be something so unusual with notable size. I don't even watch Tesla flow. I'll spot check it with filters on. I am not getting into the noise of all that comes through on a weekly expiration because it's just too much. Same thing with Apple. What I like about Apple, and an interesting observation, is there's a player, and we're just assuming it's the same person, but he's just called the market every time because he'll come in and we get a little frothy and he'll start writing calls, and it's at 12 million. It's about a 12 million, 12 to 18 million is kind of where but it's always been at least 12 million. And then we'll pull back from there. And then when we get to the bottom, we're always
Wow.
looking for him, closes that, writes the puts. And so he's not doing directionally. So most people wouldn't even know that that's positionally there with that kind of size, and that can carry a huge impact. So he's kind of just done this thing, and what we've been saying, I was talking to my mentor Charlie, he's like, we have to have some participation from Apple here. We still haven't seen this player. He came in on Thursday, so he came and wrote puts, and we've kind of been going ever since. So that's just kind of something that is individual, because you start to kind of get a pace, you get a feel for what comes in, what kind of size comes in. And then of course there are those that are just unusual, that never see options, and they just start just jamming it. Another thing is going to be frequency. Did they just hit it once, or do they want in and they want in? And what will happen is, I'll use the example from the flow that we had from Twitter before Elon announced. So they came in and started, and they paid like 85 cents, and then they're like, hit it again. And then I mean, like, it was just like they couldn't get enough, and each time they started 85, and that pricing kept going up, and they
As
were
the
like, I
price
still
goes
want
up.
it. I still want it. I still want it. They're sweeping that. That's showing that aggression. And so that was unusual because of the way it came in. It wasn't that Twitter didn't see flow, it just the way and how aggressively they came in shorter dated contracts there.